It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. The perfect product launch. It's the goal for every brand marketer. High heat, fast sellout, and fans posting recipes like trophies. What do Sydney Sweeney's soap drop, Taylor Swift's tickets, and your next launch have in common? Well, they're not bought, they're bragged about. Fanfare turns your drop into a moment. Fanfare cues real fans, blocks bots, and builds launch experiences worth screenshotting. Want hype without the heartbreak? Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook with our proven success formula and make your next launch unforgettable at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, fanfare.io/playbook.
For the solopreneur, doing 5, 10, 50 grand a month, just one or two of these things, let alone the 6 or 7 different numbers that SamCart can make move in a positive direction, whether it's your front end conversion rate, getting you more customers for the dollars or time that you're currently putting in to get the customers you're getting, the amount that every customer is spending on day one on that initial order, and the amount that they buy later on down the road. If getting just one of those things to move 10, 20%, that changes a business overnight, fundamentally changes it.
Today, we're chatting with co-founder of SamCart. SamCart is a tool that's been around in the online marketing space for quite a while, and it's kind of flown under the radar for a lot of people because for the longest time, they were just known as sort of a shopping cart optimization tool. But they've grown to become so much more than that. And I know this because I'm an advisor to the company, and I've been working closely with them for years. And I'm excited because we're going to have Brian on to talk about how the landscape has changed in the world of internet commerce, and not e-commerce specifically and physical goods, but digital goods, and all the things SamCart is doing to help us in that regard, and how actually they're approaching it in a sort of anti-Shopify kind of way. And we talk about what that means and what that looks like for us and how this works. We also talk about what is working today. How are the top people on SamCart using marketing and funnels to drive more sales? And how do we optimize for conversion rates today on a per order basis, right? Because your best customer is your current customer. And there's a specific way to finesse an upsell or an order bump, as they call it. And we're going to get into a lot of the specifics today. So get those notepads ready. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And again, appreciate Brian coming on and kind of spilling the beans on what's working today in the world of online business. Here he is, Brian from SamCart.
You're listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network, a show that's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host. He swears that if Back to the Future 4 were to be made into a movie, he would riot. Pat Flynn.
Brian, welcome to SPI. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
So what does the Sam in SamCart mean? Because honestly, it's typically the first question I get. Everybody's like, who's Sam? What is Sam?
What's funny, so we now have 3 Sams that work at SamCart, and there's always like a battle. We have our big company retreat every year, and Scott, for those of you that don't know, the older of 2 brothers, and we work together, and Scott's like the outgoing extrovert, goofy one. So he makes up these crazy company prizes, and there's like the ultimate Sam award because there is no Sam that we were named after. There's no dog or child or anything like that. Here's the backstory. The backstory is the previous business. We had a site called get10,000fans.com. The original one was trainbaseball.com. And Get 10,000 Fans was very hard to tell someone, here's what you type into the browser. It's the number, not the letters. And so we wanted something short and sweet for this new software company that you could remember, easy to spell. and we wanted the word cart in it. Back then, it was a good idea. Maybe not so much today because that word's a little old. But back then, shopping cart was really what we were and the term that we wanted to rank for. And as you can imagine, even in 2014 when we launched it, everything with cart in the name, all the domains are taken. Easy cart, click cart, whatever, anything you could imagine. And a buddy of mine had just gotten back from some event. I think it was called SamCon or something like that. And the Sam stood for sales and marketing. So I'm like, all right, that actually kind of works, because the original reason we built SamCart was kind of twofold. We were selling digital products, online courses, ebooks, trainings. There wasn't really a good e-commerce platform for us, but we also were very kind of sophisticated when it came to sales and marketing. We ran a lot of split tests. We needed to maximize average order value because we were spending money on ads. So we thought, well, this kind of works. Is SamCart available? Because if it's available, we're buying it and not looking back. And it was available. So we bought it, ran with it, and didn't really put a whole bunch of extra thought into it.
Yeah. And that's okay, because SamCart has grown to become something huge. And we'll get into that and kind of the fun things that have happened since then. But in the beginning, I mean, I remember Get 1,000 Fans, or the first business that you had, and like you and a few others were kind of the experts in the space with Facebook ads and conversions and funnels and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like on another level. So when you came out with SamCart initially, it was all about that final piece of the conversion puzzle, which was the cart. And like you said, all these split tests were happening. It was so advanced. It was almost over my head a little bit with how sophisticated you guys were all getting with just the numbers related to selling and the funnels. And here comes SamCart with this beautiful solution for literally the last step in the process, which is often overlooked, which is the cart and how we can make those convert really well. And that's what SamCart had become known for, was that cart. But I know it's known for so much more now. I mean, as an advisor, obviously I know, but if you were to answer the question, well, what is SamCart today? How would you answer that question?
Yeah, I guess the short and sweet answer is it's kind of the anti-Shopify or the anti-storefront. Not that there's anything wrong with those things. Some of our biggest sellers, in fact, our top two sellers, these are folks that do over $100 million a year. They have Shopify as well as SamCart. So there's kind of a time and place for a storefront where someone might be looking at all your different products. And there's a time and place when you're doing a promo or a launch or an ad campaign. We're building a funnel around one core flagship product. And those are very different worlds. And if you try to use the same tech or approach for one versus the other, your conversions will suffer. If you had a storefront and you can only buy one product at a time, that storefront isn't going to work very well. Imagine it'd be like going into a grocery store, you can only walk out with one thing. But on the flip side, if you launch a new product and you're trying to get everyone to understand what it is and sell it, and you have all these other distractions, that product's not going to do well. So SamCart in a nutshell is this. It's the ability to take an order. It's the ability to take an order form, a checkout page, and deploy it as a widget or an embed or a standalone page anywhere throughout that buyer journey, whether it's through an email, through an ad, on a landing page, in a members area, on a blog sidebar, wherever you want. And it's an extremely efficient, seamless, every day we try to work towards how do we make the checkout process more seamless, easier, faster for the customer, because that's what works today. I mean, we all use Uber Eats and Amazon and the App Store because you can buy things without typing in credit cards, and they're fast. And not only can you buy one thing, you can add extra items into your cart. You can buy more than one thing, which as a business owner, I mean, that's all of our businesses are math equations. And if we can increase not only the average order value of every order, but drive up lifetime value of our customers by offering them everything else that we sell, your business is going to succeed. You're going to beat competitors. So that in a nutshell is what we are. We've kind of stayed focused on just the checkout and try to be the best in the market at that, the highest converting. There's so many great other solutions. We can tell this story later of why we just focused on that, but there's so many great options for building websites or landing pages or doing email. I think to be the best at something, you got to stay focused, and that's what we've tried to do.
Can you take me through an example of any products that you might have that SamCart is used for that really speaks to this idea of the honing in on just that product and optimizing that checkout process. Take me through like the user journey through that and kind of where SamCart inserts itself.
Yeah, so some of our very large sellers are in the supplement space. So, imagine any big supplement brand, you're going to go to their homepage and you're going to find their Shopify store, some sort of catalog of here's everything that we have. But when those same brands run ads, it would be a very poor ad strategy to say, the picture in your ad is here's all of our stuff. Come to the site, kind of decide which one you want. The much smarter marketers or salespeople are going to run an ad around a brand new product that they're launching or their flagship one that they know is kind of the best place for all their customers to start. When you click that ad or click that email or click that text, you're going to land on a specific landing page about that product, and you don't want distractions all over the place. You might not even want top navigation bars that go out to everywhere else. You want them to stay focused on that product and buy it for your ad campaign or email campaign to work. So in that world, you don't want this kind of add to cart multi-step checkout process that most catalog stores force you into. You want a super quick, seamless, one-click checkout process that also lets you show the other things that you have either during that initial sale or after the fact. So you still do your things like whether it's order bumps, upsells, whatever, to drive up customer value. But you just need kind of a fundamentally different approach to closing that sale versus your kind of traditional organic visitor that might search for that brand and go find their store because they're just browsing. Yeah, that's kind of how it's used.
So instead of I click on an ad that I see that is about a company or a product, but then I just end up going to a single item on a much larger Shopify page that is pretty limited with what it might have on it. And, distractions. And then I go over here and it's like asking me to add more things in my cart before I even go through the process versus just there's this very streamlined, I click for this product because it solves this problem. Here's the solution. Check out the you guys have some very sophisticated and I know very well tested conversions on the way the cart buttons show up and how they slide in or slide out and all that kind of stuff. What are the things that, like, for example, if I were to just link to a Shopify item that I have, what would I be missing out on if I just drove ads to that versus like a SamCart experience?
Yeah, I guess a couple things. One, when you're on something like Shopify, it's tough to get full control over the entire process. So even simple things like if you're selling a skateboard and someone's going to check out, there might be hey, you might also like these other products section. But many times you don't have full control over that. So you're just trusting the software to make the right call. You might know as the business owner, most people that buy this, they're going to be more likely to buy not these 3 random products, but these other 2 specific ones that I want to cherry pick and put in that environment. That's number 1. Number 2, the fundamental checkout process of add all these things to your cart. Well, step 1, view landing page, then add things to cart, then visit cart checkout page that summarizes everything, and then place the order. That's a very long process at its core. For us, the cart essentially lives on the page. So you go click and say, yes, I want this skateboard. Maybe you click 1 or 2 other products to add them into that cart, but it's all happening kind of in front of you as you look at it, and you can check out right then and there. There's no kind of interstitial wasted page that we all know as marketers. Every time you ask somebody to click, every page that has to load, you lose sales every time. It's just the way of the world. So we just try to limit that and make it as easy as possible for them to get to that point of giving you a credit card and placing a sale. And
for larger brands that are doing multi-millions of dollars in sales a month or a year, I mean, those little incremental changes, I mean, that adds up to a lot, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even touched on, it's kind of the culmination of a lot of different things that every one of those little tweaks can add 5% here, 10% there. The other thing that I don't want to say more experienced marketers, but maybe more aggressive marketers, you have the ability to do things like one-click upsell is a perfect example where you make the sale and then on the thank you page, you have the ability to offer other things either at a discount or just offer them straight up at retail. And this works in the digital product space, in the physical product space. There's a lot of big sellers that need those things in order to make their numbers work, that they wouldn't be able to run ads or run the big promos they do without those. And on something like Shopify that wasn't really built from kind of the marketing and sales perspective of e-commerce, we have those built in. You can achieve some of those on Shopify through third-party plugins that tend to make life a little bit more difficult. I don't know from experience. I don't sell on Shopify, but that's what a lot of these big folks tell us on their way in, is it just kind of overcomplicates everything. On us, it's pretty unlimited. Like it's almost like an open source e-commerce platform where you can go take control of every little piece. You don't have to use the out of the box e-commerce experience. You can take it, remove certain steps, add certain steps, embed it on certain landing pages. There's a bunch of extra control that you get, which those bigger brands definitely like. But even for the smaller folks, like when we launched both of our businesses, if we didn't have the ability to do those things, and back then we didn't have SamCart, we just had to custom code them out, those businesses wouldn't have worked. Like we wouldn't have been able to run and pay for ads if we didn't have the ability to do those things.
We've talked a little bit about physical products, supplements, things like that. In this world with order bumps and whatnot, like that kind of stuff makes complete sense. And it's so obvious why SamCart is a great solution for that. It kind of lives on top of, or can live with, an existing cart platform, right? Like you said, it can work with Shopify. I know it also integrates with a lot of tools that a lot of us use, from Circle to Teachable, et cetera. Like it can just help with that experience. But tell me the user journey for like an info marketer. I know that you are very familiar with the info marketing space and education. And for those of us in that kind of arena, what are some of the benefits of using a tool like SamCart for the checkout process, specifically for like an educational type product? So is there anything special that SamCart does to help serve like the info community?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was kind of born and raised in that community. It's why we built SamCart. We were running an info business. So, I mean, all the things that we talked about before help an info marketer the same way they help a physical product brand. And as info marketers, that's kind of the way we all sell. A lot of us don't even have an actual storefront of all of our courses for a number of reasons. Some of us do, but I've never met an info marketer that a large percentage of their sales come from a catalog landing page on their website. Like that's not how most of us sell those things. We're using either sales pages or webinars or video sales letters or launches that open and close. So those things wouldn't even show up in your catalog during certain times of the year. Like we are running specific campaigns around a specific product. And you definitely don't want a Shopify type setup with multi-step add to cart in that world. There's just no need for it. You know, all the integrations that we built from the very beginning were basically all for info marketers. Any sale that you make on SamCart, we can automatically enroll people into Kajabi, Teachable, Thinkific, Circle, you know, all the kind of membership course platforms. You can add any buyers to lists on tools like ConvertKit, MailChimp, everybody else. We just focus on the e-commerce side and delivering that super seamless way for an info product buyer to come in, place that initial order, make that as quick as possible, either using stored credit cards, so it's one click, or there's a bunch of different ways that we make that kind of more seamless, allowing you as an info marketer to show the other products that you have, if you have them, so they can add more things to their cart, integrating with all the things that you use, so you can automate course delivery, email confirmations, all of that stuff, the ability to split test every step in the journey, and then the back-end analytics. I don't know if anybody comes close to what we have now as an info marketer, especially because we're running so many specific campaigns. You got to know how those things are doing. You have to know which ads, which traffic sources, which affiliates are driving sales. There's a built-in affiliate platform in SamCart. So if you have partners that promote your stuff, I'd say one of the coolest things for info marketers specifically is our new, we call it Checkout Anywhere. It's essentially, for the first 8 years of SamCart, you would log into SamCart and build checkout pages. Very pretty design checkout pages instead of just your boring like PayPal looking type page. Now you can take that checkout form off of that page and embed it wherever you want. So if you're big on webinars, you can now, if your webinar platform allows you to do it, and most do, you can embed that checkout into your actual webinar so that someone doesn't have to leave your presentation or leave that video by clicking a button and going off to place an order. They can place it right then and there inside the actual webinar. Or if you have a sales video, like Marie Forleo just ran her big launch of the year on us, same thing. She's got a couple pre-launch videos and then a final kind of big reveal sales page. And now you can be watching that sales video and place the order on the page instead of clicking over off and reloading another checkout page, which again, every step, every click, every millisecond wasted is lost conversions.
Wait, so I could have a page set up. Let's say it's a live webinar happening on that page, and I can have a call to action live and say, hey guys, click on the button right below here. And they're going to click that button. They'll still be able to watch my video, but they'll still be able to go through the checkout process sort of simultaneously while that's happening.
Yep.
Dude, that's huge. Because as soon as you tell a person to go, typically to a sales page, they leave.
Yeah, they disappear.
Yeah, they disappear. And maybe they convert, but if they don't, good luck getting them back.
They can't get back in, can't ask questions. Yeah.
Versus like, oh man, this is huge. So imagine a webinar page and there's like a number of people who are curious and they start, going through the checkout process. But while they're doing that, that's when I bring on a previous student to hear from their voice, almost like a live testimonial while that's happening to reinforce the action of, continuing through. And then, oh, by the way, if you check out before the end of this webinar, as soon as you go through this process, some of you have already finished, some of you are going through it right now, we'll send you this bonus thing, and it's just going to be dropped right in your email for you. All while happening, they're hearing that while they're checking out. I don't think I've ever heard of an experience like that. With running your own business, legal questions always come with the territory. Like, can I use this contract or agreement? What do I do if a client doesn't pay? Am I even structured the right way for taxes? Instead of Googling your way through legal landmines, imagine having a law firm ready to address your business's legal needs without the sticker shock. That's what you get with Legal Shield's small business plans. Legal Shield helps entrepreneurs access real legal help on contract reviews, collection letters, business formation guidance, and even help navigating IRS audits. Members can schedule consultations, upload documents through the app, and get support from a provider law firm that knows small business laws in your state. Plus, consultations on taxes or trademarks help you stay ahead of potential problems. And if a client is late on a payment, Legal Shield steps in with professional collection letters so you can protect your hard-earned revenue, all for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer on your own. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. Hiring shouldn't be a hassle or a drain on your budget. Upwork is your one-stop shop to find, hire, and pay top freelance talent, saving you time and keeping costs in check all in one place. Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way that they staff key projects and initiatives by assessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web development, AI, design, administration support, marketing, and more. And I've personally used them myself and can vouch for them. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Go there now.
One of the reasons that we said, look, we got to give our users more control and allow them to take this checkout environment, put it wherever they want, is I think users like us, users like everybody watching, are going to find new creative ways to use that. You think about it, at its core, it's just one line of code that you can paste anywhere that accepts code. So we have landing pages now that live in Notion because you can embed HTML in Notion. So you can have free content that you give, and at the bottom, there's a checkout form waiting for you right there to buy whatever it is. Could be an upgrade or a bonus or a course or a physical product. You can now embed this checkout flow wherever you want on any page that essentially allows for HTML to go there.
So hold up. So I could offer free Notion templates, for example, and then at the bottom say, hey, if you want the pro version or if you want to get this other thing or get into this product or whatever, it's just in that free Notion template.
Yep.
That's pretty baller, dude. That's pretty sick. And this is where I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on SamCart. We, for a while, kind of just made it the shopping cart experience. And we're like, oh, well, we kind of take care of that already with Teachable and Circle and such. And it's obvious like what is being held back if you just stick with those native checkout processes, which work, right? And it's like, on one hand, it's like, oh, well, I want everything to happen on Kajabi or on Circle or on Teachable. How would you respond to? Because I definitely want to get into the story of the raise that you've made and kind of where things are going in a second. But if somebody were like, why not another product to add on top of everything that I'm doing already? And it's like, I'm trying to consolidate. Like, what do I need another thing for? Is it worth it? How would you reply to that?
Yeah, I guess you could have said that about a lot of things, as I'm sure people said that about email marketing before Aweber, MailChimp, ConvertKit came along. Is why do I need another tool? I'm getting, my marketing's working just fine, whether I'm running Google ads or doing whatever it is. And then people realize the power of email marketing. And it basically came down to, well, does your business like revenue or not? That's the question, is if SamCart does what we say it does, in what we see in the numbers all day, every day, and it's why those bigger folks, I think that's why we almost have we have an easier time convincing the Marie Forleos of the world or Tony Robbins of the world or Dollar Shave Clubs of the world, because there's so much money on the line for them that 1% increase in conversion is such a big difference. The smaller folks, and again, if SamCart was complicated, which it's not, anybody can use this thing. You don't need a full-time SamCart manager to run this software. It's not like Salesforce, but even if it was, those people have teams to manage this stuff. For the solopreneur, doing 5, 10, 50 grand a month, I definitely get the objection of it's another thing I got to keep an eye on. It's another thing I have to pay for. But just one or two of these things, let alone the 6 or 7 different numbers that SamCart can make move in a positive direction, whether it's your front end conversion rate, getting you more customers for the dollars or time that you're currently putting in to get the customers you're getting, the amount that every customer is spending on day one on that initial order, and the amount that they buy later on down the road. If getting just one of those things to move 10, 20%, that changes a business overnight, fundamentally changes it. You move all 3 of them in a positive direction. We just did a case study. We actually did this for free because we wanted this case study. This guy, Sean Fargo, uses ThriveCart. And ThriveCart's very similar to SamCart. It's at its core an e-commerce platform that focuses only on what we do, which is e-commerce. We just happen to think we do it even better than someone who's focusing in on it all the time, let alone the Kajabis of the world that can't focus on it full time because they're building an entire platform. We said, look, he was kind of thinking about it. He's got, I forget how much he does a year. It's not a massive business. We said, we'll set it up for free. We'll run the test. And if it doesn't win, don't use it. But you decide. Let us show you the increase in conversion and sales. And then you decide. We put our embed on his page. He was running a promo for he has like a mindfulness course, and added a little extra order bump to get customers to buy his other stuff. Split tested 1 or 2 things, and he got 21% more customers. And each customer was spending like 40, it was in the 40s, 40 something percent more. So again, in isolation, those sound like, look, that's great. Maybe even those numbers aren't enough to convince someone. But when you put them together and you understand, not only are you getting 20, 30% more customers, all of them, all customers are now spending 40% more. That's an 82% lift on total sales. That's damn near doubling the revenue of a business by changing essentially one page on the site. Is that worth it to somebody to have another tool to potentially log into? That personally, I think if anybody logged into SamCart and saw just the sheer dashboard and analytics that you get to see in real time, I enjoy logging into my SamCart account because I get to see more than I would elsewhere. Even if that didn't exist, I would hope most entrepreneurs would say, yeah, I think it's worth having an extra tool that isn't even that expensive, number one, but number two, for an 80% lift in sales. I can't imagine losing that argument many times.
If somebody were to want to learn how to get up and running on SamCart quickly, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, we're right on samcart.com. We have 3 different plans that are all self-service. You can start a trial, test it out for yourself. We do have a full implementation team that's usually for bigger customers, but if someone wants to pay to have us set it up, we can set it up for you. We actually run the split test for you to beat whatever your control is. We've yet to lose one of those. We've done them against Shopify, Thrivecart, Kajabi. So yeah, if you need even more hand holding, but at its core, again, I shouldn't sell against myself and discourage anyone from hiring our team to build it for you, but it's not that hard to set up. I mean, it's very simple at its core, but some of us want the easy button, and we have it if you want it.
Nice, man. That's exciting. I'll drop our affiliate link at the end of the episode for anybody who wants to go through. SamCart has grown quite fast and quite big as of late, I know. Can you give us any insight on the company and kind of where it started, but also some of the bigger milestones that have happened that signal kind of the future of the company and really how great things are going?
I mean, we got started, Scott and I, back in 2014. I think we had a small crew of 7 or 8 people. A lot of entrepreneurial lessons that you've probably learned. A lot of people listening have probably learned. A bunch of the other folks are probably going to learn at some point. We tried to build it on our own. I learned through trial and error from 2014 to 2017 that I'm not a CEO. I'm not an operator. I'm a big idea marketing sales guy, product visionary. These are usually not the people you want at the helm making every little decision, managing teams. And luckily we found that guy. Justin's now our CEO. Luckily he was with us at the very beginning, so it wasn't a big learning curve to get him back on board, but we brought him in 2017, stayed bootstrapped, which basically means I funded the whole thing up until 2019. 2019, we probably had 15, 20 people. We're doing 5 or 6 million a year, and really saw where this whole market's going. The infopreneur market, physical products is expanding. I mean, all of e-commerce is just exploding. And I think we're still just at the beginning. I'm very curious to see how many folks are working for themselves 10 years from now. I think that's kind of where we're going. And so we thought, look, Shopify is proving that this is a massive market, just e-commerce in general. And they're just kind of in the physical product world. They don't even touch the digital product world, really. So we just saw this massive opportunity and said, look, if we stay focused and do what we know we can do, we think that there's going to be, and there's already a need for kind of the same way there's Pepsi and Coke. In most industries, there's kind of 2 major big players. And we saw the same thing that in the e-commerce world, that Shopify is probably not going to be able to or not going to want to serve everyone. Businesses are just too different at their core. Not only is there this whole world of digital product sellers that Shopify just wasn't built for us, there's folks that have a performance marketing conversion optimization background that Shopify wasn't built for. SamCart kind of was. There's folks who sell without a big kind of catalog store. There's all these different needs. And so we thought, look, if we move fast, we think we can be kind of the alternative to Shopify, or kind of the complement to Shopify. Again, like I said before, there's very rarely a case where we're actually talking to a prospective customer and saying, like, yeah, you actually don't need your Shopify store. It's kind of like a blog. Like, everyone needs WordPress and lead pages or Unbounce or landing page tools. Like, you need both. It's not a either or. Some businesses only have one and they make it work. Most businesses kind of have the need for both. So anyway, long story short, we saw this massive opportunity, but doing that as a bootstrap, self-funded business, you're restricted by how much cash you have to hire the best people in the world and build product and hire engineers and run ads. And so we decided to raise a small round of fundraising to move quick. We found a great VC out of Atlanta to fund that first round. We saw firsthand what giving a business just a little bit of extra cash can do. And we were able to move at light speed compared to where we were. And we went on to raise 2 more extra rounds. We've raised a total of just shy of 100 million at this point. And the business has taken off. I mean, we're now just shy of 100 people, kind of scattered all over the place. We have 2 little hubs in DC, Baltimore, where I'm at, and then down in Austin, Texas, where Scott, Justin, and a bunch of the other folks are. But yeah, that's the journey that we're on. Is we think the world is going to the e-commerce world, whether it's infopreneurs, physical product sellers, we don't really care what you sell. We think that there's a huge need for a non-catalog store, kind of an alternative Shopify e-commerce solution that is flexible, deployable wherever you want, and extremely optimized. And that's the mission that we're on.
Well, first of all, congratulations on all the success thus far. And I'm just really happy to be a small part of the crew as an advisor, and to be able to offer sort of like frontline kind of happenings from the solopreneur kind of perspective. And I really feel like SamCart is ripe for a lot of us out there who are selling, like you said, not necessarily giant companies, but companies that know the value of an incremental and significant percentage increase in sales. And, we're seeing a lot of in e-commerce now. I mean, TikTok Shop is a big thing now, right? Where you can, on TikTok, where you're at, click a button and it's just super smooth. Like you're buying it right there. What you just mentioned earlier is giving that power to all of us with just a simple line of code, the ability to check out fast. And we know today that people move from person to person, from product to product really fast. So if there's a little bit of friction in that purchasing process, it's going to reduce your numbers by quite a bit. So it's super clear, man. Thank you so much for your time today. Congrats to the company. Excited to be along with you for the ride here, and hope everybody checks out SamCart. It may be a perfect fit for the thing that you have going on, to take what you're doing and really make it work. It's almost like a nitro boost for your business, I'd say. So any final words of advice for the creator out there? I mean, our audience best. It's not necessarily the e-commerce or the big Marie Forleo types, although there are a few of them in the audience, which are amazing. But for the entrepreneur who might be making $2,000 to $4,000 a month, or maybe less, who's selling a product, but they want to go bigger with it, outside of obviously checking out SamCart, from your perspective as a business owner, where should they focus in the next year?
Yeah, I mean, we've all been in those shoes, and those early days are tough and exciting, and you're learning 1,000 things at once. I think one of the smartest things I did, I know you did the same thing. Especially infopreneur that I know that's kind of cracked 6 figures and then 7 or maybe 8, is we either got lucky enough or we just refused to stop until we were able to either surround ourselves or learn from folks that are 5-10 steps ahead of us. And I think I know I did the same thing when, the train baseball site that never broke $5,000 a month. I think we did like 2 or 3, maybe 4 here and there. And it wasn't until I realized what is possible that I really was able to break through. I thought I was just kind of stuck there. It was kind of the normal. This was where it was going to be. And yeah, I mean, listening to podcasts like this, listening to folks' stories, going to events and meeting people, and just trying to let your kind of mind open up to maybe there's a whole nother world where all my limiting beliefs on this business are just BS. And it's just a story in my head that it is possible to get this thing to 5 or 10 or 15 grand a month and beyond. Yeah. So I think anybody listening to this right now, the advice would just be keep doing what you're doing. I mean, soak up everything you can get your mind on. It's funny how those breakthroughs come about, and you're just hearing somebody average, and all of a sudden you realize, like, holy moly, they have a very similar business to me, or they're in my niche and they're at $1 million a year or $100,000. Like, it just unleashes so much creativity, because your brain realizes, like, man, maybe I've been underselling myself, and maybe there is an answer here, whether it's a different strategy or technique or different piece of software or whatever it is. Yeah, looking back, I think those were the times where I was fortunate enough to accidentally stumble across a new friend or mentor or piece of content that just kind of built that belief in myself that, look, this can be a lot bigger than you're giving yourself credit for. And there's an answer somewhere. You just got to go dig it up. Nobody's going to do it for you.
Yeah, man. Huge. Brian, thank you so much for this. Appreciate you. And we'll have to have your brother come on at some point in the future, and we could talk shop a little bit later with him as well. So thank you, and all the best to the team.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right. That is Brian from SamCart, and I'm really excited to be able to start to experiment and implement a lot of the things that he's spoken about here, and especially with where I know SamCart is going. I have a lot of insider information of what's going on in the company as an advisor, and if you've been looking for an easy way to sell your one thing, but sell it really well, SamCart is definitely the way to go about doing that. So definitely check it out. smartpassiveincome.com/SamCart is the affiliate link. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Brian or Scott over there. They got a lot of great stuff happening, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of their journey. And they've just grown so big and are playing in the big leagues now, which is incredible. So again, check them out. Brian over at SamCart, smartpassiveincome.com/SamCart. And if you want the show notes, head on over to smartpassiveincome.com/session785. Again, smartpassiveincome.com/session785. Thanks again. You're awesome. Thank you so much for listening to the Smart Passive Income podcast at smartpassiveincome.com. I'm your host, Pat Flynn. Sound editing by Duncan Brown. Our senior producer is David Grabowski, and our executive producer is Matt Gartland. The Smart Passive Income podcast is a production of SPI Media and a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Catch you next week. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? You record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips? Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. Have you dreamt about being your own boss, but still haven't made the first steps to making that dream a reality? Well, I get that. Starting a business can feel super overwhelming with legal forms, paperwork, finances. It's a lot. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Taylor Brands. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal assets and the business assets separate from day one. From there, you get access to everything you need to get off the ground. Legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program, all designed to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free, personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, listeners of this show get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. All you have to do is head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands.